Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. Welcome to another edition of this huge bike. Yeah, this is an XXL Specialized mountain bike. I kind of like it because it's got microshift Advent 9-speed drivetrain. Kind of bomb-proof, really. Just basic trigger shifter. It's got hydraulic disc brakes. They're SRAM, of course, but they don't need to be bled. Thank God. So we don't have to touch the brakes. This is Dylan's bike, and I know Dylan. He's a local guy, and he's a giant. He's like this tall, and I think he was having problems with flats when he was out mountain biking. A while back, he was in here, and he's like, I want to switch to tubeless. And I was like, oh, I don't want to. I just don't think that liquids belong on bikes. You know, hydraulic brakes, tubeless tires, all that is just a pain in the ass. And I was like, hey, you know, it's fine if you want to do that, but you got to maintain it. You got to ride the bike regularly. You got to add sealant, you know, if you want things to be kind of stay sealed and that sort of thing. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that are watching this and are like, hey, I switched to tubeless. I don't have any problems with it at all. I've never had a flat. It's just my life is so much better. Women love me. I don't know, man. I've done it. I've had it on my bikes. I service bikes with them. They're nothing but a pain in the ass. But then again, you know, like my bikes, some of them tend to hang for a while, like it'll be months between rides. And then all that sealant kind of collects on the bottom and it hardens and then you get like wobbly and then you got to clean it out and you got to take it apart outside because you get fluid all over the place and then you get your hose out and you got to, and then you sit there and you pick out all the little dry sealants. Like you spend an hour doing it. Well, anyway, Dylan drops off his bike and he shows up with this giant Blaine's Farm and Fleet bag full of parts. And he's like, I don't care what you say, bike farmer. I want you to do this work. And I'm a paying customer, so you're going to do it. Luckily, I wasn't here, but Eli was. And Eli's like, sure, because he's a nice guy. We've got the Surly Moloko bar. These are pretty cool touring bars. I'm not into them, but I think they'll just bolt right on. I don't think we have to worry about cable lengths or anything like that. And I kind of like them. And then these are like the original grips. I don't know why they're not on the bike. And then he brought 2 Vittoria tires that look to be wrapped up by someone somewhere, probably eBay or Amazon or something. And it says tubeless ready. And I assume that these rims are tubeless ready. Now, I personally think that all tires and rims are tubeless ready. You just have to seal them up good with tape and get a good bead and a little bit of patience and let the sealant do the trick. Now, of course, there are exceptions. I mean, like, obviously. But anything like this level of componentry, this era, whatever, is going to work tubeless. Famous last words. Anyway, I suspect that this could go south very, very quickly. This is definitely something I don't want to be doing. And apparently you guys like watching videos of me struggling. So you kick back and relax and watch me struggle. Can't wait. Just can't wait. It's going to be a fun one. You know, I got to be honest with you, like, this is not an entry-level bike, but clearly it's quick release, you know, 29er, which is so dumb. I feel dumb every time I say 29er. You know, it's extra, extra large. He's a really big guy. That's why he's getting flat tires, right? Maybe the tubeless conversion will help, but I told him, I'm like, I can't guarantee it's going to make your life any better. You know, I wouldn't do it. I would just get good at fixing flats. He's got a ton of air in these tires. And he said, he's like, I want to ride lower pressures. All right. You know, all of this is true. But I just suspect that, you know, there are things going on in this world that's going to make it, you know, we're really stressing the limits of what's even possible. Going to be spending a lot of time on Woody Charleston today. Oh, got my phone in my pocket. Let's see what this looks like. on the inside. Oh. Oh, Christ. They got fucking duct tape in here. All right, I'm officially in a bad mood. I mean, that's all it takes. Oh. I don't understand. There's like 4 layers of duct tape. You can't even get these tires off. Here, take my problems. Solve them. All right. 6:45 a.m. 2 cups of coffee. I'll be all right, guys. I'll be fine. I'll get through it. It just feels disrespectful. You know? Look at this. Unbelievable. Look at that hack job. Well, never pass up an opportunity to huff goof off before 7 a.m. Know what I'm saying? Woo! Yeah. Yeah, baby. It's not even touching it. Why do my customers hate me? Maybe it's because I hate them. I should be thankful for their business. Fine, I'll take my business elsewhere. Will ya? Please? How much for the shit bike in the window? Oh, thank God. Front one's normal. Clean as a whistle. It's important to remember that you can start your day over anytime. You know, you can just decide, not gonna be in a bad mood anymore. Everything's great. Everything's just fine. Ooh, we're out of Behold. I think we're completely out of Behold. I was just looking on Amazon for Behold. One time, I talked to the manager at the grocery store and I ordered a whole case of it. And I think I'm gonna do that again. Might even get multiple cases of it. I was thinking that's something that I could do, because it came up in the comments again, is make a kit. You know, Dawn Power Wash, Behold Furniture Polish, One Step, Speed Degreaser, Tri-Flow Squirt Bottle, Tri-Flow Aerosol. You know what I mean? Just the juices, the juice box. Call it the juice box. And then make little kits, put them in boxes and ship them. But I think shipping aerosols is problematic. I think that's part of the problem why it's not something that's like easily available on Amazon. You know, and I whenever I get stuff shipped from my distributors, there's like special stickers on the boxes and stuff. Yeah, so here's a spoke, a replacement spoke. I think I've replaced a spoke in this wheel. I'm telling you, Dylan's just a big dude. It's not his fault. It's not like he's not taking care of himself. He's very healthy, but he's huge. So he's heavy. Bikes don't like heavy, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it should be good for him, right? Like, it should be. But the percentage of heavy people in this world to the percentage of median weight people, you know, just because it's an XXL frame, they're not like re-engineering that specific size. It's the same bike, it's just got bigger tubes. So technically, it's weaker. And the same goes for these 29ers, right? You need the bigger wheels because the bigger bike, bigger guy, right? But 29er wheels are going to be weaker than 26 or, you know, smaller wheels. So it's a bummer, you know, that it is, you know, the way it is. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why I tried talking him out of this when he was asking about it a month ago. You know, I think we're just compounding problems. Like, I think we're just introducing more variables and he'll have more problems, but we'll see. He might be right. I don't claim to always know better. I have my preferences that I claim to prefer because of personal experience and my own tolerance levels, and this is borderline intolerant, but makes for good content. I got that going for me. Is the hub loose? So the hub's just a tiny bit loose. So I have two sizes of tape. This tape fits in there really pretty good, but I don't really want it crawling up the sides, and it's crawling up the sides there. So I'm not into that. This is the other size tape that I have. It seems like maybe it'll be adequate. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to kind of be careful of how I install it. I need a different cam angle so I can get after it. You know, I probably shouldn't be doing this at all. I should just be saying nope. But I actually think it's gonna work fine. All right. Pardon my reach with my arm, but I just kind of need to be doing it this way. Should be using duct tape. See, this shit doesn't even stick. All right, we're gonna go right over the hole there. This is Stan's tape. I don't know, I mean, Stan's kind of invented this whole stupid thing. So they're probably the best at it, right? They've been doing it the longest. And we're gonna poke a hole for our valve. So you can see how it's nice and sealed on both sides, both edges. Stiction it down. Oh, that spot there is a little sus. Should be all right though. All right. Got a couple of valve stems here. These are just 35 mils. These are shorties, but these aren't very deep rims, so I think they're going to be fine. All right, so they go in the rims and then seal around the tape. And you got the press to valve nut, knurled nut. And you kind of tighten that down, and that'll smoosh the rubber on the valve stem around the hole and seal it. Okay, so here we go with the Vittoria Mezcal tubeless ready graphene 29 by 2.25. Nice big tires. So I look kind of like the tread, you know, nice medium dry tread. Nothing too extreme here. So far, very annoying. Really hard to deal with. Maybe I don't like doing this. You guys starting to get the feeling that I don't really like fixing bikes? What's happening to me? Wow, this is gonna suck. Yeah, suckage. Major fucking suckage. Well, the good news is they're fitting on nice and tight, so we shouldn't have problems inflating them, right? So when you get it to this point, theoretically, you can pour a bunch of fluid in here and then just put your tire on and inflate it and you're done, right? But I find that to be very messy and cumbersome. And you can already see that I struggle. So I'm going to use the tool. I'm going to remove the valve stem and squirt some in through the valve, because I can tell that this is going to be really hard to seat. And if there was a bunch of fluid, it would just make it that much worse. Fluid. Sealant. I always want to call sealant fluid because it is. And I just don't think that fluids should be on bikes. Okay, I'm pinching all the way around. I'm pinching the bead and trying to smoosh it down into the valley of the rim to give myself more room at the end here. So this is the problem. You get tubeless ready rims, tubeless ready tires, and it just means super tight fit, major pain in the ass. That wasn't that bad. God, I'm a whiny prick. Whiny little bitch is what you guys think I am in the comments. Nice people out there. These bike farm reviewers. You guys are great. This, I hope that zooms in. That fits in there and you can take out the valve core. And then it leaves you with a holy. But I skipped a step. So we'll put the valve core back in, give it a snug. Ready? Yeah, all right. Ah! All right, it's leaking out the valve, which I kind of expected. It's not leaking out the sides. It's mostly seated everywhere but right there. So if you just kind of put a whole bunch of air in, it'll seat the tire around the rim. There we go. Okay. And the leakage that we're hearing is from the valve here. So that's going to be fun. But the sealant might help us out there. So now we take our valve core out, and then I've got one of these injection system bottles. I'll put it over the valve. Okay. And I'm putting in, per what it says on the bottle here, about 4 ounces. Maybe a little more. Okay. Like, yay. So now the sealant's in. Now we have to find our valve core again and put that in. And I'm gonna do that. Get some all the way around. See if we can get that valve to seal up. I'm guessing we won't because nothing ever goes my way. Oh, silent. Putting it right by the, yep. So the air pressure will push the sealant into the holiest of holies, wherever they are. So I'm just kind of agitating the fluid that's in there. I'm sorry, the sealant. Trying to get it all over everything inside there. One of these over this way. All over that valve. You want to listen? Take a listen right by the Mikey. When you hear my heartbeat. I don't have a heart. I have no heart. All right, you can hear it in there. Chaos. Create as much chaos as you can. Oh, whew. That was slightly chaotic. All right. So there's a Christ load ton of air in there, but that's okay for now. That wasn't so bad. You know, if you're not buying tires wrapped in saran wrap, you're doing something wrong. If you're not using dull utility knives, shitty ones with reckless abandon, you ain't a bike farmer. Ooh, looking at my dress. Sup, boyfriends? Got up extra early this morning, 4:30. Whew. Yeah, I just kind of woke up. I had to pee super bad, so whatever, I did. I just drank coffee for a while until some other people woke up because I didn't really feel like waking people up, but I think I did. I think I woke up Maggie. I think she's a little mad at me. She seemed perturbed. Yeah, I was like, well, Monday morning, I took a couple days off this weekend, just kind of from everything. I worked Saturday morning. I've been struggling to get things to upload, export. I've been struggling to get things to export. I don't really know what's going on with my technology. But anyway, you know, my my upload schedule has been Tuesday mornings and Saturday mornings, and I've been sticking to that pretty good for the last number of months. And I'm out of footage to edit. I had a bunch backloaded, and I haven't been down here filming in a while. And here I am. I'm like, oh, I need a video, and I'm like, oh, I got Dylan's stupid tubeless conversion situation. You know? So here I am. I'm like, do I want to be in a good mood or a bad mood? I'm like, I'm going to try to do the tubeless conversion in a good mood. Just be funny about it. But that duct tape, man, that put me in a grumpy mood. I got mentioned on Pathless Pedaled last week. Russ, if you guys know Russ, I was on his podcast about a year ago. And that's how some of you found me. And he's been at it a lot longer than me. He's been at it. Whoop, dropped my wrench. It's not a wrench, it's a tire iron. Don't call it a tire iron. Anyway, Russ has been at it a while. And, you know, we're always like looking for video ideas, new styles of videos. And he tried doing, talking to the camera while wrenching video and was struggling with it. And I noticed he would stop and he would talk to the camera, because this is how his videos go. And he does, you know, he talks to the camera and then he like shows you things, and you know, he does this. And I like that, you know, like if you're like into gear and wanting to know about new things that are coming out, and then, you know, he does a bunch of stuff with like modern bikes, but he's like alt cycling and keeps it real and mechanical. And so he's always trying new things out and like experimenting and all that. It's great. Anyway, Russ mentioned me in the video, and then some people told me about it, and I went and checked it out, and then made some comments over there on that video, and then somebody, you know, saw my comment on his video about me or whatever. No, the video wasn't about me, but it was mentioned. Anyway, and they were like, I dropped the bike farmer because he was too negative and blah, 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 or something. And I asked him if it was because I said and believed things like the garbage takes themselves out. Yeah, I just have a zero tolerance for like people that just get into the comments just to say negative things. But then again, I make negative videos and say all kinds of negative things about everybody. So pot calling the kettle black, I suppose. But it's like, why would you like go out of your way to make that comment there? I don't get it. Ah! This one's extra leaky. Extra leaky Spice-A-Roni. Okay. Let's see if we can get that to seal up with sealant. Worked on the front wheel. So it could be because I had the tape in there and I just poked a hole in the tape, and I'm expecting the rubber from the valve stem to seal around the crinkles that were created by the tape creases cutting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a perfect circle hole. And it doesn't really have to be. The sealant does do a really good job of plugging holes. And this tire and rim combination, oh, see, there, it's leaking. It's gonna leak on my pants. My favorite shorts of all time. And I got leakage. And that's probably gonna be permanent, because this stuff sucks. That's why we have aprons. But still, it's the world's fault. It's not my fault. Squirting all over the place. Just like your... Never mind. This one's not sealing up. See, here we go. Down the rabbit hole. It's already messy. We're already angry. So I can wiggle that valve back and forth. Try tightening that nut a little bit more. Okay, can't wiggle it as much. I'm sweating. It has been 45 minutes. Oh, it just sealed. All right, it's kind of coming out, but it'll coagulate like your blood. You know, it's got coagulation properties to it. All right, it's not liking the higher pressure. It's liking the chaos though. Got a little bit of leakage going. Got a lot of pressure in there. See, I mean, is this not a ton of messing around? It's been about an hour, 50 minutes, 55 minutes probably at this point. All right. I mean, you can hear it swishing around in there. Still kind of squirting out. Yeah, running low on the power wash too. Uh-oh. I just kind of did that willy-nilly. Looks like I didn't get any in the pads. Should be more careful than that with the disc brakes. Rim brakes don't really care. Disc brakes like to howl. We all know how annoying they are. Okay, I'm gonna put the front wheel on first for no reason at all other than the fact that I grabbed it first. And honestly, this bike is so big that there's more room over here on the front than in the back from how I set these bikes up for these videos. Front brake is rubbing because it's a stupid disc brake with stupid quick release So we get to deal with that. And it was leaking again. So this is a good way to get that sealant to swish around, is do one of those numbers. Just chaoticize it. Rear wheel doesn't seem to be rubbing, or rear brake. Sometimes it's just a matter of wheel position, quick release tension. Yeah, that's what it was. No more rubby. Another bike farmer overreaction. Thank you guys for loving me and sticking with me. Let's see what kind of problems Dylan's terrible handlebar idea brings forth. So these are his parts, because I don't stock all this stuff because everybody's got their own idea of what they want and how to do it. I'm just like, go buy the parts online. So I can't complain too much about that. But if you leave it up to the customers to make their own decisions, that can be problematic as well. Because they only know what they're able to learn off the internet. And it's not that the internet has bad information. It's that people don't know how to analyze the information that they get off the internet. I know that's true because I've worked on cars based only on what I can get off the internet, and I make tons of mistakes and bad decisions and waste a lot of time and money. It could have just taken it to the guy and had it done right. But it's a hobby for me, you know? So now I'm assuming that since all the targets and line alignment and everything is on the top here, that it goes that way. But then the local bar, yeah, it definitely goes that way. All right, get some levers back on. I never remember if we want the shift levers first. I should know that just inherently. Yeah, that's right. So these bar angles are definitely a personal preference. You know how you have it. Let's see, I think we want to angle it up a little bit. I tell you what I'll do for him. I'm just gonna put it right smack dab in the middle, and then he can make his own adjustments. Hopefully he's got a 4mm Allen key and can do that. Oh, dropped a nut, but I saw it. That was bad. Could have been bad. Oh, almost did it again. Yeah, because it's a square nut that's made for this grip. Bolt these grips on, bolt the levers on. Okay, so that, we've already lost the nut for this grip. Customer supplied grips, I hope. Son of a bitch. Yeah, so there's a square nut that fits back here that is missing now. So I was able to find one that fits. I'll smush it down in there. Hopefully it would grab some thread. Seems to be working. All right. Okay. I mean, that's something. I really do like this Advent drivetrain. Gotta say. micro shift. It just works so good. It's got a good feel to it. 9-speed chains and cassettes are way cheaper. They still have a nice wide gear range. You know, more speeds doesn't mean wider gearing. It just means less space between gears. It's a race thing. You don't need it. Even if you're a racer, you don't need it. See if I can find some matching bar plugs. My Jarro plugs. Jarro plugs. And that's good. The rubber grip hits the top tube if you have the bars at that angle. See if that angle's any good. Well, I think the angle sucks. I mean, it's a personal preference. There is better. But now, of course, although it's just the shift lever, and it kind of acts as like a spring, so it'll chip away at the paint. It's not gonna scratch and dent like it did before. Anyway, that's not a problem I'm trying to solve. It's just a thing that the way it's gonna be with this bike. You know, the next question's gonna be, can this come up? Guaranteed. And the answer is no, it cannot. Although you could get a shorter stem, but this is a replacement stem already. So, and he is a big guy, so maybe he did want the longer stem. Maybe he likes being out there. Can you see those bars? That's what they look like. You know, I mean, to each their own. And that's what I always say. To each their own. Unless you're doing tubeless, or hydraulic brakes, or silly handy bars. Silly handy bars. To each their own. Another thing that came up on Pathless Pedaled in a video I watched yesterday was about people customizing their bike and doing like hacky kind of stuff, like the stuff that Russ tries and does on his channel. That works great, right? But asking your bike shop to do that hacky stuff for you and why it was problematic, because he was talking about how he saw a comment about somebody who wanted to do a bunch of hacky stuff to their bike, and the bike shops, 2 bike shops were like, nope, we're not going to do that. And he's like, why not? I saw Russ do it on YouTube. And that's a very good question, because like I would do it to my own bikes all day long, but I wouldn't do it to yours, because sometimes shit doesn't work out. Switching handlebars, you don't always have an abundance of cable length, and so then you have to redo everything. And maybe we don't catch that in the service writing part, and then we do it on the background, and then you're like, oh, but you said you'd do it. And it's like, yeah, but it's gonna cost you 4 times more because of all the labor and blah, blah, blah. And then people are disappointed and so on and so forth. So we just kind of like nip it in the bud, because it's not good customer service. A lot of times it's not profitable for us. Like, it's really hard to charge for the labor. You know, this bike and this, you know, even like Eli wrote it up, and I don't think he understood how time consuming a tubeless conversion can be. And it was an hour to do it. And, you know, I don't think I wasted a whole lot of time or whatever. I mean, it was only like an extra 7 minutes from that duct tape. It wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of bike shops around here are charging $120 an hour now in labor. I'm only charging $90 for a tubeless conversion. You know, is that really worth it? Or is it something you should just do on your own? I think 9 out of 10 times when you're doing hacky, customizing kind of stuff to your bikes, it's great, but do it yourself. You know, paying a guy to do it for you, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Then again, what are bike shops for? Hasn't it always been the case in bike shops that that's where you go to have your bike modified for racing, and you buy special parts and do all this and that? And I guess if it's, you know, I mean, I spend so much money on golf equipment. What the fuck am I talking about? You know, I've got a golf lesson today. I was at the golf shop again yesterday. I didn't buy anything. I've got all new clubs in the last year. What am I talking about? You know what, for a couple extra strokes? Now, then again, I'm really good at it. I'm competitive, you know, and I think that if you're a racer and competitive, oh, that hub's loose. We're gonna tighten that up. If you're a racer and you're competitive, it's totally worth it. You know, if it's like the thing that you do every day, all the time, then it's totally worth it. And I know Dylan, and he rides a lot. I don't think this is necessarily the right bike for his size and what he's doing. I mean, he's almost big enough and hardcore enough that he should be looking at custom, stuff. But I mean, that's thousands of dollars, and maybe this is good enough for who it's for now. I don't know. It's really hard to manage all that for me. And apparently I'm not alone, because, Russ just made a whole video about it. And in the comments, a lot of people are saying, as a bike mechanic, as a shop owner, I totally get why, and like, we're all in agreement on it. It's not that we're snobs or anything. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense a lot of the time. But anyway, this bike is pretty cool. I think with these bars, it suggests that he's going on adventures. I think he's an adventuresome guy, and I am all about that. That I like. Do whatever you can to your bikes to make it so you can go do things abnormal with them. I like that. Don't try to be a racer. Don't try to go through the silly little trails faster, but go out and explore and make your bike easier to ride on long distance, gravel, I don't know, off-road. I can imagine him having bags and stuff on here and camping, and that I like. It really doesn't matter what I like if you're paying for it. Started doing this in my videos. Now this here is what you call good content. And if you want to see more of it, you can send me a super thanks. Click the heart with the $ in the middle of it and just send money right to me. Or consider joining the channel as a monthly sustaining member. Get a little star by your name in the comments. And when you ask those stupid questions, I will give you a non-stupid answer. But if you don't have the star and you ask a stupid question, I'll probably ignore you. And for yourself, click that, like this video. If you're watching at this point, you liked it, guaranteed. So click the like button, that helps me. Subscribe if you haven't, because you're gonna like more, because it ain't gonna change a whole lot. But for yourself, make sure you click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.